Hey guys, this is Jamie. So today I want to talk about a topic which I have been avoiding for a bit, and it has sort of gone in and out of trans circles, and today I saw a thread about it, so I figured, well, I guess I ought to address it. So the thread I saw was literally about a trans mask individual who felt like they should be included in lesbian groups, or like date lesbians, or like going to the women's changing room in regards to the fact that they feel like they still belong there. And in general, it's a very important discussion for us to have. So let's get into it, I guess. It's not the first time, obviously, I've seen trans mask people and even trans men who consider themselves still sort of a part of the lesbian community, or feel like lesbians should be still attracted to them just because of their natal genitalia, actually. And usually I talk about lesbians fetishizing trans dudes, but in this case I do want to focus that there are a lot of problematic trans mask people and trans dudes as well. So to make things very clear and simple, women belong in women's spaces. And in this case, it would be cis women, trans women, and people who feel closer sort of to the female side, you know? Well, in this case, this is clearly, this was a case of someone who's transitioning, who had top surgery, and the thing is, this is not, I had a more sort of severe discussion once where I didn't know how to react, because a trans dude actually said to me that he prefers not to disclose his trans status, because then he can sort of be in the woman's team, and he was very attracted to women. So he was a straight trans guy, and he was like, I don't disclose that, I like being in the girls' changing rooms because everyone's hot. And I was like, oh my fucking god. So to start off with that bang, and he saw sort of himself as sort of, and in general, trans men who see that are very sort of clingy to an old lesbian status, or maybe they discover that they're into women during the process. But the point is, don't make other people uncomfortable. And it also kind of counterattacks trans people, obviously. And I have had a lot of incidents in the past, specifically when it comes to trans women as well, who feel like because I'm gay and a dude, therefore I will be attracted to them because they still have a penis, but at the same time they want to be with me regardless of what my current genitalia is. So it's really bizarre. Or like trans woman on Grindr. It's just that I'm speaking also from that perspective, because obviously I have like little to nothing experience in women. And like the experimentation I did was like God knows when. So obviously this is a subject I'm unfamiliar with, so I do say this as a bystander and sort of someone who does not like this behavior within the trans dude community. And then that brings us up, because they can back up sort of certain individual personalities which are very problematic, like Leslie Feinberg, which is an obnoxious foreign to this day. And I don't know, I don't really follow that many problematic straight guys, obviously for a reason. So I wanted to say that it is sort of a thing which I see every once in a while, and it really bothers me. Because, well, regardless of what your orientation is, or how you want to get into someone's bonds, you shouldn't be making that a person uncomfortable. You really need to understand that attraction is a two-way street. And there's all these sort of theories that like trans people should date bisexual or pansexual people. And that is really not the case. Like, I've been with plenty men only attracted dudes. Cis or trans, actually. I mean, men specifically. So it's sort of really weird when it sort of narrows down into that. And in general, I don't understand the sort of affinity trans masc people or trans men do with lesbians. And specifically, I don't understand what do they gain by being fetishized. Like, I'm not one to sort of judge someone's kink, but in this case, it's doing it publicly and in a degrading way. So it's sort of like there are certain norms, there are certain standards, and if you're making someone else uncomfortable and it's actually not consensual in this case because you're forcing an attraction, it shouldn't even be a discussion. So I don't know, this whole lesbian fetishism from men is really weird, and obviously it is a big issue, just like women fetishize gay men as well. And I'm not one to sort of talk in massive detail about how to protect women or anything, because I sort of focus more on trans rights, specifically trans men rights, and but I have to call out certain things when I see them, and in this case, I do feel bad for the lesbian community for being fetishized, even though they also have a massive history of sort of fetishizing trans dudes, you know. So yeah, so it's a very weird situation, and specifically about the trans masc person, there were a lot of people sort of telling them that this would make people uncomfortable, like they should choose their words more properly, and they weren't just having it, so it was really bizarre. And in general, this whole idea that because you're a trans guy, lesbians would be attracted to you, or like if you're a trans masc, lesbians will be attracted to you. With trans masc, I do have to agree that it's obviously a bit of a more of a gray area, and I do have to say that I am not that well versed in trans masc in this case and lesbians, because obviously I'm not very well versed in dynamics between women, as I'm not interested in women, and obviously I'm not a lesbian either. Therefore, and being a man doesn't make me a lesbian, which also sort of goes back to those annoying TikToks that everyone has been sharing for a while and discussing about can lesbians be trans men, and everyone's like, yeah, they can. And it's like, you have to accept when you're straight that you're straight. You can't be edgy just because you feel like it. like certain things cannot be changed. Like, you can't actually be white and claim that you're black, for fuck's sake. So it's stuff like that, and it's highly uncomfortable. It's like we're already marginalized enough. Why do you want to make the confusion go further on people about us, or confirm what they think about us? So yeah, I don't know. This kind of really irks me a lot. Obviously I didn't like it. And yeah, I wanted to speak on that, because even like sitting down here and dissecting it, I still don't understand, like, what do they gain? And the trans mask individual, which was angry that lesbians did not, weren't interested in their advances, is like, read the room a bit, you know? Obviously some people have exceptions. I've been with binary people, even though like mostly everyone is like men, obviously. But yeah, obviously everyone has their own exceptions, and it's fine to say that, but you shouldn't be erasing the person or their identity or sexuality. Sometimes sexuality is set in stone, sometimes sexuality is a bit fluid, sometimes you're labelless. It happens, but you shouldn't be disrespecting yourself with some insecurity, or like thinking you're a man light. I never understood this. Like, just because you're a trans man doesn't make it more relatable for women to date you, or it doesn't make it a possibility for women to be attracted more to you than any other guy. And I really feel like there's a transphobic retort coming from that. So yeah. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this blurb. It's just that it's really weird to discuss this specifically, because to me it's so clear-cut, but obviously for many people it isn't, and throughout history it hasn't been as clear-cut. And specifically trans men who are into women have a different history than trans men attracted to men very often. That, like, we have very sort of nearly non-clashing histories at times. So yeah, that's sort of what I want to talk about today. That's pretty much it. So I'll also be pre-filming one more video, because I have some visitors, so I'll be busy. But yeah, I'm really trying to skip weeks, so I'm a bit tired, but I'll get there. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video, obviously click like. If you subscribe, I'll be happy. Feel free to leave a comment. And also, I do have a coffee. I love coffee. Make them laugh. Thank you very much.